Let's get right into it. Why you shouldn't marry someone you're not attracted to from a biblical perspective. Yeah, we're going to talk about that right now because as Christians, Christian women who are dating in our 30s, we tend to be a little desperate or I'm just going to go for it and use the word desperate. We tend to be desperate and we just at some point say, "Okay, you know what? It is what it is. I'll take what I can get." But no, girl, it doesn't matter how old you are. You should not marry someone you're not attracted to. So let's get into it and talk about this from a biblical perspective, right? So should you marry someone you're not attracted to? Well, culture says attraction is everything, and some people in the church say attraction doesn't really matter, right? In the world, they say it's all about the looks, it's all about the chemistry, the what's the word they use? The vibe. Are we vibing? That's what they use in the world. But in the church, there's a lot of over spiritualizing things. Yeah, I said it. I'm just gonna say it. In the church, there's a lot of over spiritualizing things, and we try to make marriage into something that we should not really enjoy. And people tend to say, okay, don't be too superficial. They say, don't be too superficial. As long as he's a man of God, go for it. But is that true? Is that true? I don't know. What does the Bible actually say? We're gonna look into it. So I'm going to start reading from Genesis 2:23. It says, at last, I'm reading from the NLT. He says, at last, the man exclaimed, right? He said, at last, he exclaimed, this one is the bone from my bone and the flesh from my flesh, right? So the Bible clearly says he exclaimed. You know, when you exclaim, you're like, you can't believe it. You're like, yes, she's the one. That's him. So Adam exclaimed. He couldn't believe his eyes. He saw her and he was dumbfounded. He couldn't believe how attractive she was to him, right? This is the first marriage, the first union in the Bible. He saw her and he exclaimed. So, girl, you should be with someone who, when he sees you, he exclaims. And the same applies to you. Be with someone who, when you see him, your heart skips a beat. You're like, oh my goodness, am I dreaming? The butterflies, the heartbeat, all of that stuff. On top of the basic things that we already talk about how he should be a God-fearing man and everything else. But when you see him, you should exclaim. It's right here. Genesis 2:23. At last, Adam exclaimed when he saw Eve, right? That's one. And the second one is Proverbs 5. I'm going to read from Proverbs 5:18. It says, let your wife be a fountain of blessing for you. Rejoice in the wife of your youth. And I especially love the commentary in the Bible. There's a commentary. I'm going to read it for you. It says, God does not intend faithfulness in marriage to be boring, lifeless, pleasureless, or dull. Sex is a gift God gives to married people for their mutual enjoyment. Real happiness in sex comes when a person decides to find pleasure in the spouse that God has given or will give them, and to commit themselves to meeting their spouse's needs. The real danger comes when we doubt that God really knows or cares about what we really need in a marriage relationship. We then may resent his timing and carelessly pursue sexual pleasure without his blessing. So, this I'm reading from the Bible. This is a commentary, of course, in my Bible. It's a life application study Bible, which has a little bit of commentary at the bottom. So this is what it says in Proverbs, that the man should find joy, should rejoice in his wife. So it means that for a man, his wife should give him pleasure. Like she should fulfill everything that he wants, like all his desires. He should see her and feel like, yes. And this is the same for us women. We should not be with a man who we're like, I don't know, like, okay, fine. Because let's face it, I someone wrote to me and she said like she's always like attracted to people who are like, meh, these did she say she's attracted to, or those kind of people? I think she said those people are attracted to her. Like, people that she's not attracted to are the people that want her. And it's so funny that in our season of waiting, we tend to come across guys like let me say, the guys that you meet when you're waiting for the ones that you think, okay, they are close to the qualities that I'm looking for, the non-physical qualities. The guys who are close to that are usually the guys that you don't feel attracted to. And then in the end, I understand that you would probably get confused, like, I'm in church and these are the guys that I'm seeing. These are the guys that check most of the boxes except the physical aspect, right? And if you were to talk to your aunties and whoever, they'd say, girl, looks don't matter, just go for it, right? What is the most important thing to you? And you say, I want a God-fearing man, I want this and this, and that man is like 100% in those things. So the question becomes, should I marry him because he ticks all the boxes except this box of physical attraction? The Bible says, I told you this is from the Bible. This is from the Bible, Genesis 2:23, and then Proverbs 5:18 to 19. There are so many other Bible verses, but I'm just going to talk about this too. And I talked earlier about the story of Jacob and Leah and Rachel. Jacob was physically attracted to Rachel. It's Rachel that he wanted, not Leah. Even if the dad said you have to marry Leah because she's older, blah 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 blah, and all that stuff happened. It was just a hard thing going on. But it's Rachel whose heart Jacob wanted. It's her. She's the one that he wanted. So it's really important. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say physical attraction is important. God designed attraction because the essence of marriage, it says, Paul says, I think in Corinthians, where he says it's better for a man to be alone, but it's like he thinks, he wishes that everyone would be single, but if you cannot control your desires, then get married. Which means that marriage, among all the other reasons why people should get married, it should also be for sexual satisfaction. You should get married to someone who satisfies you sexually. Because if you get married to someone, fine, you want a kingdom partner, you want someone to serve God with, you want someone to do all those other things. But if you're not attracted to them, then it's going to be hard. You're not going to enjoy your marriage, because sex, like we read in the Bible, is a gift from God. God gave people sex in marriage. Sex outside marriage is fornication. Don't do it. But in marriage, sex is a gift from God, and it's something that you should enjoy. And I would like to believe that if you are having sex with someone that you don't like, it'll be more of a chore than something that you actually enjoy. So my point is, attraction is important. It is important to have a type. It's important to be attracted to a certain kind of person. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing sinful about that. So while you have a list of the things that you want and don't want, attraction is important. Because you may say, okay, I'm going to get married to this guy because he checks all the boxes. In the end, there are chances that you end up resenting that person. You end up being tempted outside marriage. Remember? And cheating is a sin. It's a sin. I don't even want to go into that. Like sleeping with someone outside marriage, there's a lot of things connected with that. So that should be a no-no. So that will tempt you, because you will see someone or meet someone that you think, this is my type. But as a married woman, you should have eyes only for your husband. But if your husband doesn't satisfy you sexually, then chances are high that you're going to be looking outside, looking elsewhere for something. And you're not going to respect your husband because he's not satisfying you the way you want. So all the things that would make you a good wife, submit to your husband, respect your husband, and blah, 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 those things will not be there. So that marriage will be more like, you're shocked and you wish you were single. That's what I believe. I believe like if you were having sexual relations with someone you're not attracted to, is more like a rape. That's how I would like to imagine it. Like someone is forcing themselves on you. That's what I think. But yeah, this is what I think. But I don't know if there are any of you guys who've done it, but I don't think that works. So yeah, like I'm saying, it causes a strain in intimacy. So you can't be intimate to someone you're not attracted to, and you end up resenting the person. You just look at them, you're like, meh, like you don't like them. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like there are people, everyone has a type. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a sin to not be attracted to someone. It doesn't make you proud or conceited. No, it doesn't make you conceited. You like what you like. That it is what it is. So yeah, like I also said, so there's strained intimacy, there's resentment, and there's also temptation outside marriage. And one thing that I want to tell you is godliness alone doesn't equal compatibility. It does not. I know that I've spoken so much about being equally yoked as Christians that I want someone who is as radical as I am, who is as crazy about God as I am. I say that. But if I meet a guy who is as radical about God as I am, and maybe even he's more godly than I am, it doesn't mean we are compatible. No, we may be compatible in every other way, but uh, physical attraction is really important, and there's really nothing wrong about that. That should not make you feel like you're dirty or anything. No, it shouldn't be like that. It's a fact. So being godly together doesn't mean that you are compatible somehow, because life is not only about that. There's so many other different aspects of life. You should be with someone you're proud of walking around with, someone you can you know what I mean. But if you're like, oh, okay, fine, I'm just married for the sake of it, then you're embarrassed about your husband, about your marriage, then it defeats the purpose. You might as well come back here and join us singles because you're still looking, sis. You're still looking. If you find someone that you think, oh, he loves God, he can take care of me, and all of those things, no. It's just like I said in a previous video about how a friend of mine was saying, you can find a guy who checks all the boxes, but if he's not godly enough for you, then you don't want him. No, I don't want him. It's the same as this one. This is another important attribute, and that doesn't make you shallow or superficial or conceited. Like I said, it doesn't make you conceited. And yeah, so what is my advice to you? My words of advice to you: if attraction is missing, I would say, fine, you meet a brother. Because one thing I don't want to discount is that attraction does grow. Yeah, it does. Attraction can grow. So, I mean, you could find someone, and because dating in a godly way, you don't rush things, you don't rush anything. You can spend time, getting to know each other's, just, yeah, doing stuff together, right? I wish I could tell you how people date in a godly way, because I ever since I came to Jesus, I have not dated. Seriously, I have not. I'm just, yeah, I've been waiting for 5 years and I haven't dated. I'm just, yeah, I don't know, but I would like to imagine that when I do date, I will date in a godly and respectable way, get to know someone, talking, not be alone. Yeah, anything that is the opposite of what you would do in the world. So during that time, spend time with someone, get to know them for who they are, right? Don't just see someone at face value. While I say attraction is important, it doesn't mean that you can see someone immediately and say, no, you're not my type. No, you can give someone a chance, get to know them, talk to them, spend time with them, and then and then I'm sure you can see the intentions of the brother. He can tell you his intentions, and you can say, okay, let's talk and let's see where this goes. And if you see that it's a couple of weeks and it's not working, like, don't waste his time. Tell him, yeah, I really like you, I respect you, but the attraction is not there, in a nice, respectable, godly way, and then end it. But you should try it. Don't just dismiss someone from face value, because indeed I've heard people saying that attraction grows. It could actually, because sometimes I know there are instances that even when I was still in the world, I remember I didn't always date guys that I was physically attracted to. Some guys, you would end up being attracted to them because of the way they treated you, right? Like maybe they are not your usual type, but they are nice, they make you laugh, they are caring, the way they like, the people around you. Those kind of things can make you fall in love with someone, right? So there's also the place of that. But after you try everything, you try to give them a chance, you try to see if there's something, and then you really see that, oh my goodness, I've tried this for, I don't know, 2 whole months, it's not working. It's simply, I just don't see me kissing this guy, let's talk about it. I don't see myself kissing him. Like, the thought of it makes me want to, when that happens, then you're forcing things. So stop, end things graciously. Actually, I don't say end things because you wouldn't have started anything. Just tell the brother, bro, this is not working. I'm sorry. And then you move on. So don't rush, but also pray and seek counsel from other people and also from God. God, is this guy for me? And if it is, I don't know, this is how I'm feeling. Am I being superficial? Am I being carnal? Because you could also be carnal, thinking from a fleshly perspective. That's why I said you give yourself time to get to know that person. And during that time, talk to God, talk to your advisors, talk to your spiritual advisors, and hear what they say, and also be honest. Like I said, be honest with him, talk to him and say, this is how I feel. But and I'm pretty sure him, no matter how much he likes you, he would not want to marry someone who avoids kissing him because she doesn't like him. You know what I mean? And those kind of things happen. Like, if you're with someone, you can say, okay, I think I've heard this from those ladies who say in the world who marry guys for money. They like him for the status and stuff, but they don't want to kiss him or do anything intimate because they're not attracted to him. So what's the point? Because godly marriages, you do it once, right, first time. That's it. Because you don't get a second chance, because we don't believe in divorce. And that's it. So you have to get it right first time. So stop and don't do it if you're not sure. And then, Proverbs say, rejoice in your partner. Ask yourself, do I rejoice in him? You know what that means? It means, does he make my heart skip a bit? Does he give me butterflies? Do I smile when I think about him? And those kind of things. I don't really want to get into detail, but ask yourself, do I rejoice in him? And then, most importantly, am I settling for fear? Am I thinking, oh my God, maybe this is the best I'll ever get? Stop right there. It means you're doubting God. If you think that's the best you will ever get, you are doubting God. Stop right there. Don't do it. It means you're doubting God. You think God will. Because for me, I am so convinced that God knows exactly what I want. God knows my type. God knows what makes, what tickles my fancy. He knows everything. So when he gives me that man, he's going to give me a perfect man, right? Because I trust God. I know, I think a few years ago, I made a video when I was talking about my celibacy, about how I can't believe that I got to an extent where I was waiting for marriage. I was waiting for a husband. In the world, I would never have done that. I would say, no, you have to test drive a man before you commit to marriage and stuff. But that thought is totally out of my head right now, because I trust that God knows exactly what I want and what I need, and he will give me exactly what I deserve. So I don't trust God in giving me the man that I need in every aspect. So these are the kind of things that you need to do. Don't fear and don't mistrust God, because if you say, okay, I'm just gonna do it, it means you don't know if God is gonna really give you what you want. And so in conclusion, before I finalize this video, I want to give you a couple of things. Number one, marriage includes love. Right? Love, real love, not the other love that you love your brother or your church brother, but real love. And love has a lot to do with physical attraction, emotional attraction, and every kind of attraction. And then faithfulness. Love has to do with faithfulness. You have to be faithful. Love is faith. No, I don't think Corinthians 13 says love is faithful. Love is patient, love is kind, and all of those things. But those characteristics of love, if you're not attracted to someone, you won't even be patient with that person. You'd quickly resent them, get annoyed. You won't be kind to him. You will be harsh and rude and disrespectful because you don't love that person. So love is, marriage has love, faithfulness, and physical attraction. Those are the three things that are most important. Well, not most important. There are those things about a man that you have to be equally yoked, aligned, and stuff. But these things are very important, and wanting them as a godly woman don't make you worldly or carnal. You are still a person. You still need to get what you want. Otherwise, I might as well stay single than to be with someone I'm not attracted to. Yeah, no kidding. It's better for me to do my thing by myself than to be with someone who I'm not attracted to, because what's the point, right? So wait for the one that you can love with your soul and with your eyes. I love that statement. Wait for someone that you can love with your soul and with your eyes. Your eyes, you should be like eye candy to you. You should see him and rejoice and say, yeah, that's my man, and not be ashamed of him and just hiding him because you're ashamed. No, you should be proud of the man you choose, because it's your choice, it's your decision. You're the one who's going to be with him for the rest of your life. So yeah, in conclusion, should you marry someone you're not physically attracted to as a Christian woman? No, no, no. I repeat, no, don't do it. It doesn't matter what the world says. You are the one who's going to be with this man. It doesn't matter what your aunties or your church buddies say. You are the one who's going to live with him and lay with him in bed every day and spend every day of your life for the rest of your life with him. So if you're not attracted to him, girl, don't do it. Better for you to stay single and wait, right? Because like Paul says, it's better for you to get married than to die of passion. So you're still married, but you're dying of passion. What's the point? It's better to be dying with passion, being single. That makes sense. Than to be dying of passion in a marriage. That makes no sense at all. Because once you're in marriage, you're stuck in there, you're not getting out. But when you're single, there's still hope of getting that person who fulfills your passions. So yeah, I hope this answered that question for you people who had this question. God bless you, and as always, I love you. Please comment, like, share, and don't forget to ask any questions that you have and stuff that you want me to address. I can make a video about it and address and give you my thoughts on it. Love you, and God bless you. Bye.